Yes, I give thanks to life, you know?
Serious thing. We are here again, Ballhead and the Dread Podcast. Want to show much appreciation to everyone who's been tuning in from those times to now. Have to remind you, if you get free time, make sure you check out EP from the one Far Right, Disrupting the Status Quo, link in the description. Also, check us out at INeverKnewTV.com. Enough reasons there, very powerful reasons that you don't want to miss. Far Right, what we're reasoning about today?
Well, all right. See, enough time, you hear enough people tell us that them are adults. And yeah, I hear some man tell us, say, yeah, them a man. It's just a word of mouth thing because really and truly, you can't be a man if you can't control your emotion, you can't control your tongue certain ways. So that's how we really want to break down a reasonable and show us enough people say it's just adult by age and not adult by maturity, you know?
Now, serious thing. Granny G, my grandmother, my mother's mother, always used to tell me that the age thing don't have nothing to do with maturity. In regards to manhood, far as we know in a capitalistic society, your manhood is based on your ability to provide. And unfortunately, due to the system, many men are unable to participate in manhood according to the system. There are other things you can do to compensate. But when we think about manhood, we think about protecting and providing, right? Which most men are unable to do and don't know how to do. But if we use that as a standard, there's another aspect that we need that there are other aspects we need to add on for the qualification of manhood. And as you stated before, it's definitely controlling your emotions and your tongue. Before we get onto the emotions, I want to clarify what I mean by the tongue, right? A lot of times we're referring to black people, but this is a universal thing. Many people speak about the hurt they receive. They focus about physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, all these things. Most of the damage caused by people is from the tongue fight. It's from what you said. And some people do it consciously, some people do it unconsciously, right? But as you journey into manhood, you have to learn how to control your tongue. You have to be cognitive of the power and the impact the words you say have on the ones around you. The word, the damage from the word lasts way longer than anything you could do physically. And I don't think we acknowledge that. If you talk to any child, right, or a teenager who's really going through something, it's not always physical abuse. It's what has been said about them, what has been said towards them, the vibes that they've been given. Now, I'm not saying because say someone says something that could control their life, there's work they have to do, obviously, to overcome it. But you, the person, giving out this sound, giving out this negative vibe, you could talk to anyone. I'm very cognitive of it, right? I have a gift. People open up to me ASAP. I don't know what it is. A person could meet me. They could tell me their life story. I just try to always give encouragement. Not even try, I do. I always give encouragement. If I do get frustrated within my own household, I can tell you, right? I have to stop. I have to stop. I don't say things that I know will hurt these people long term. And there's a certain level of maturity and a certain level of control you have to get over your tongue. Just because you're mad, you can't go out here saying any and everything, especially to the ones you love. People have this vibe where they're out there saying anything, and like if you grew up in a certain environment, you know how it is. A person to get frustrated, and all of a sudden they'll attack you really purposely saying things that they think will hurt you. And it's just a sign of immaturity, and it's very damaging and it's very dangerous. And for all my young brothers out there, some may have anger issues, some may not have anger issues, but I'm telling you and I'm warning you, especially with your loved ones, especially with your children, you have to control your tongue. If it's something where you need to go for a walk, you need to take a break, but you really need to slow it down and think about what you're going to say. And if you need to get a message across, there's another way to get that message across where it does have an impact without the damage. And one more thing I want to add, Far Right, before you jump in. Some of the frustration the brothers have is that they don't have a healthy outlet, Far Right. They have outlets, but they unhealthy. And a lot of them add to your frustration when they come from. A lot of them add to your frustration when they come full circle, you think you're doing something that's releasing, but when you really break it down and look into it, it's really added to the pressures. I'll give you an example, right? You have these whole crew of people that they go partying and they go to strip clubs, right? You may think you're getting the stress relief at the time, but you're putting more pressure on yourself by spending out your money. So you're adding financial pressure to yourself and whatever pressure, if you're in a relationship, whatever other pressure comes from your activities. But you need a healthy outlet. You need a hobby. You can't, it's rough out here, so you can't just be all bound up all day full of, you need a healthy way to release your stress. But with that tongue, you have to be very careful what you're saying to the people, because if you try and build up your people and have them on a height so they could do well in the world and you guys could build, you can't be saying anything that comes to your mind, because you're destroying the thing you're supposed to build up. You, not the system. We already know about this. We're talking about you as the person. You are destroying the thing you're supposed to build up because you're talking reckless to the people, and saying mean things that you can't take back. You can apologize, but the damage is already done. And they internalize these things. You see it all the time. We're not talking about women. Yes, women do it. Yes, mothers do it, right? So we yes, before anybody say that. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about men. I see it all the time, man. They say some crazy things to them, and it's just like, it's best you would have took a deep breath and figure out a better way to relate that message without the damage.
And a joke. And a joke in a fire. Words so a power, And most people understand that. And they hear the crucial thing. Especially, I love what they either say. They're not talk about women. They're talk about men. Because men need to understand the role where them play and the influence what them have, even in our household, in any particular environment where them might be. Because even if a man and a woman are the same environment, the influence where a man that have and the theme words them, the way our theme words them with a project based upon the masculinity, the effect where to have would be more than the effect where the after word with the woman that outside, So sometimes, may I always tell people say, yeah, what thing way, what I call it like short term, they would use the word a while ago, but that's a short term therapy and long term frustration. Cause enough time the ones that know understand say all of these things we do, I would feel like say right, we have to relieve stress from all of these things. Real long term frustration, it's not a joke for you, because it end up bite you in the long run. I would not even understand, because if you see for influence is a wicked thing, because when somebody give you a word of advice, what the word of advice they really mean to you. You see what I say? The word of advice is a thing that probably would have changed your life, or it start make you think different, it start make you look upon things different. So think about it on the opposite side now. When somebody give you a verbal abuse and push that towards you, what that make you do now? That start make you start feel like say you become them type of things the way a person I tell you. So you start attach them type of negativity to yourself, especially if it come from a person who you value them opinion, who you value them thoughts. That now start dealing with even worse, and the impact with have it the impact they probably not gonna start show immediately, As they say, what's done already can't be undone. But when the impact they now start over time, it no matter if you really feel like you start fix things, sometimes the impact is a thing we're staying, because a person might reach in a situation and automatically in the situation they hear advice them might hear in them head. And you not even understand, so they might hear your advice in them head, because that is just how the things stay, because word sound is truly power, and enough time we feel like say, oh, it's just words. Yeah, it's just words, but if it was just words, how could it have so much different impact will carry on through so much different people's life? How come man can hear word and it changing perspectives? So especially as I say, men need to understand where they must fire. And furthermore, you see any man where you see just talk loose, it show them character. Any man who talk loose, it show them character, because as a man you're supposed to meditate what you say. You're not supposed to be impulsive, because any man where you find impulsive, he normally have a good future, in future normally dwindle very, very fast, or him have a roller coaster of a ride when it comes to life, and then in the long run him start meditate and I wonder which part him go wrong. When him no overstand say it was the maturity for you, because men as them normally say the man them normally take longer for mature. As boys take longer for mature because females mature faster. But when the maturity they kick in, you supposed to have a grip by yourself and know what type of role you play and how important your word sound is, because your word sound it governs families, and then when we go outside of the family, you even think about your friend, because remember most man don't want to admit it still, you know. But just like how the female them normally attack and them thing, most of the man them have for them bridging them with them confide in. And if your friends are anybody who you associate with, give you any form of word, normally you start internalize that your own self. Just imagine how your word I get internalized by any other individual, whether it be the same friend them or it be anybody at all we are associated with. It's a crazy thing.
No, reality, man. And I just think that, as I said, we're not no Bible people here, right? But if you look at it from a metaphysical standpoint, from an allegorical standpoint, it says, in the beginning was the word. So whatever they was dealing with, they understood the power of the word. And we need to understand, because why you think black, hey, remember this is, it's the word that have black people here confused with no confidence. Nobody beating you over there, they beating over your mind with words and sounds. Hence, constantly telling you nothing, constantly telling you can't do anything. Then what's the result? Far right. People don't feel they, you get what I'm saying? They have no self-worth, no confidence, they don't feel they could do anything. So we have to understand the power of the word and use it in a positive light that we could uplift those around us. Next thing with this emotion thing, I have to put myself out there before we start firing. Remember, I want to be clear, I'm not no street dude, right? So it's not like I'm trying to say I'm no gangster or nothing. But at the same token, fire, the vibe of myself was anything with anyone at any time. And that's the little mind frame that I had, the ignorant mind frame that I had at the time. There are numerous reasons for it. One, with internal issues I was dealing with, frustrations with life. And also, because I didn't bother anybody, my mind frame was, if anybody bothered me, I'm going to put the pressure on them. That was just my ignorant mind frame at the time. Very emotional, very reactionary. So I've been there and I had to grow out of it. And I can say that, thankfully, I grew out of it earlier than other people. But at the same token, it's like I couldn't really say myself was really a man, but got to have full control over my emotions. And just like you need control over your tongue, you need control over your emotions, because not just in regards to frustrations, but in regards to your decisions also. I remember in sports, the games I had control over my emotions, I played very good. The games where emotions took the best of me, I didn't play good. And when I mean emotions, I'd be like nerves and overthinking, that type of vibe. You have to have control over your emotions. You can't be all over the place, and you can't be all the way up through the satellites and down through the earth. When things, you got to balance out the thing. Can't be too high, can't be too low. You can't get overwhelmed with life. When things go wrong, you can't say, oh, well, it's over and it's the end of the world. Everything the end of the world when something happened, far right with people, yeah. And not understanding it's just life. Some things not going to work out. It is what it is. You just got to take that and learn from it. I think the approach of learning from experiences is the most liberating thing that I've had. And not taking experiences personally, right? And just say, yo, this happened. What can I learn from it? And keep it moving. And I will say, the things that I dislike the most are the things I learn from the most. Or the experience I dislike the most, the experience I wish it didn't take place.
You know, there is something like I said, I ain't say not taking it personally. You know, I said around 2 days ago, I hold a meditation to myself, and I said, maybe, just maybe, most men for start take things personally. Like when I start think, well, I just flip it and I think to myself, and I said, maybe most men need to start think things personally. It's because, you see, most men is like them. Most men conditioned for bottle up them emotions and I know how to really express their emotions there. So it end up start spiral over out of control and them start do things what them not supposed to do, because there is mentioned as an example in the game. If you're too emotional and your emotions take control over you, then it not gonna make you think straight, and you're not gonna make the play them where you're supposed to play, where you even rehearse and practice. And no, so that you really are the same thing you really are doing where you're doing a training, you really carry out on the field and just execute it as much as possible according to the coach's order. So when I think about your life now, your life are really the same way, you know. But when the ones them I say, you know, to take things personally, I feel like probably we need to start take things personally and start overstand say, yo, this is very personal, you know, because this have to do with my credibility, it have to do with my character, it have to do with how me actually think things through, this and whatever I do right here, so now, or how I feel at the moment here, I go define my life per se. Maybe in a from me just think about it like from a just like that. So maybe we will start take things personally and start internalize every single action we go on in our life. I'm not internalize it for say, oh boy, as what I say at the end of the world, but internalize it for say, yo, every single step we will make, every single thing we will think, every single thing we will do, it gonna define who we be, it gonna define which part we reach. So maybe we need to start take it personally and overstand say, yo, life is a cycle. Life is a cycle, and everybody need to overstand say, especially just like this men overall is like them up on the extreme. Is either most men when really see a carry out certain action. Is either, as we say, them battle up them emotions so them become emotionless totally, or them full of so much emotion till you have to wonder where's the masculinity in them. So it fall at so much different extreme at the extreme end of the scale that it start look away, and then we have members say as men we naturally disposable, you know, because remember say when war go on, you know, a man go war. When time think anything over go on the front line, a man have to do that from the get-go. So man have get murder, man have murder themselves. You see me I say most time you hear about death rate. If your people think about it in a fire, like think about the percentage of men will die compared to the percentage of women, that's the life expectancy is lower. So certain different things as men we have to understand say them things are gonna be thrown at you, that is life, and as a man that does come with the territory. So if we start take things personally, like if me I flip the script and so we start take things personally, maybe it might do more good than bad. You see me I say? Just from the fact say we know say every single thing but we think, every form of emotion we evict from our body, it really means something. So we not bother put it to waste or go to extreme or the opposite end of the spectrum, you know what I mean?
Yeah, far right. I think what you're talking about is more accountability than not taking things personally. Because
the accountability, yes, still, but the really why I think both it from literally the word personally, because I'm say personally, I'm like more I want to know say yo, like a literally
or redefining
like,
taking
redefining personally, yeah.
All right then. All right, I'm glad for that clarification then, because when I was saying earlier about don't take it personally in regards to life, like people think life is attacking them in a sense, but you're redefining the concept. I hear what you're saying. I want to go back in regards to managing your emotions, right? You spoke about something that's very detrimental, bottling up your emotions. You kind of don't deal with the situation. And as a man, you have to deal. First of all, you have to acknowledge that something is frustrating to you or something has hurt you. I think that's the first step, right? It's too many, like, they too hardcore. Like, all right, you just got to admit that, yo, this thing hurts you, right? Thing hurts you, or this is a frustrating experience, or this is a frustrating environment, whatever. Once you acknowledge that, now you got to figure out a strategy to deal with it. And one of the things goes back to what I was saying in regards to you need an outlet. The smoking, the drinking, and the whoring is not a healthy outlet. I think men think they're going to sex their way through problems. I think their therapy is banging women. And not that I think I know. Their therapy is banging women. And you're creating more problems for yourself because there's no fulfillment in that, right? And also, there's so much collateral damage that comes with that, especially if you have a significant other, if you have a family. The smoking and the drinking fire is not where it's at. As I said, I'm not chastising. If you smoke and drink, that's your thing. Hopefully you have it under control. But don't use that as a means to solve your problems. Because if you've been doing it, hopefully you come to the conclusion now that your problems are still there, right? It may give you a break. Yes, it may give you a break. It may make the problem more palatable. But in all truthfulness, I really doubt you're weaving through your problems and figuring out how to conquer this and dealing with it while you're dealing with the substance. It just gives you, it's just a numbing agent. It just gives you a break. And some people end up putting themselves in a position where they're constantly taking a break and the problem is still there. And sometimes the problem is magnifying while you're taking a break. Then it's just a nasty cycle because when the numbing is done and go back to the problem, it's a little bigger now, so it's more overwhelming. So let me just take a next break, and we're not dealing with what we need to deal with. You know, life better like the tamarind ball fire, so you better get used to it, yeah, and figure out how to make this thing work. You know, but we need healthy outlets. I want to say it again. You have to acknowledge your emotions. People too hardcore. Sometimes it's good to cry too if you just gotta go for a walk and let out 2 tears, yo. Some of these men, I could just, listen, I'm not no psychologist. I don't want to say I'm a spiritualist or something, but I can really break down human beings. And I just say this man's so broken, He's just trying too hard. Man need a hug. Man need to go to the side and cry for a little bit and get himself together, yeah. And just acknowledge the hurt. You got all this pain and hurt inside and you're not acknowledging it. You're not fooling nobody. That's why you be flipping. Farah, you ever see some people get in some box? You just say, Farah. How we get to this point over this?
Yeah, man. Like I can just one word say sometimes it's just a one word or one interaction and it just escalates.
How we get to this point? Because I've been there. That's what I'm telling you. That's the thing. I can speak on it because I've been there. Hey, listen. I remember one time, 2013. My wife could tell you the story sometimes. Before I about to fight everybody in the airport. Yeah. The man I had a machine, it's just you so ignorant and so dark because it don't have nothing to do with them. It was just light fire. So anything, I was just a ticking time bomb, man. You'll be shocked people that know me and I don't know that side, but like I was literally a walking ticking time bomb. So anybody who would have came at me during that period, unfortunately for them. And it's just the reality, and it's just like, you ever see some people carry on and just say, bro, like, man, must be having a bad day. Just keep it moving. I can't even take it personal. You can see the frustration on people's faces. Tell a man what's up. Man going through it, bro, so let him be. Listen, if anybody was to really break down these crimes, specifically murders, the person that was murdered is murdered for frustration off another person. They are the collateral damage of something else, family, frustration with their lady, frustration. It don't have nothing. It's just they got the brunt. And sometimes, here goes the next thing. Sometimes people are frustrated with the system, and it's your brother that get the pressure. Because, first of all, you scared to put the pressure on the system, and you don't have access to the person that messed up your life. So your brother, remember, your brother not the reason you're unemployed, yeah? Or your brother not the reason you don't make a livable wage. Or your brother's not the reason that you went to school that's inadequate and teach you nothing to prepare you for nothing. Your brother not the reason you live in a food desert. Your brother not the reason you can't get adequate health care. But your brother get the frustration. And your brother get the pressure. Yeah, we probably need to put our resources together and just talk with people and say, what were you really angry at? And it must be this.
No,
I'm saying if they're distant from the situation, right? Say it happened and they have distance from the situation now, and we could put them in a safe environment to talk and they can reflect. I would say 70-80% of the person who received the aggressive behavior is not the source of the frustration. And we know that as a fact. And like you can't really say that you're a man because to provide that, you gotta get your emotions under wraps for yourself and for those around you. And all that pain you have, listen, dudes need to just, especially the old head. Our generation a little better. You know what I'm saying? I will say collectively, I believe. I don't know if it's the people I'm around or I feel like generation's a little better at like at least expressing themselves And it may be stored. Maybe I'm basing off my ecosystem that I'm around and how people deal with each other. But the generation prior, fire, those men are just so broken and full with pain and frustration, and they don't have the words or tools to articulate what they experience. And some of them just deal with frustration, fire. Some men I grew up around, they only have two expressions: silence and rage. There's nothing in between them.
Big statement that in a fire. Don't take a statement that light in I say the same extreme end of the spectrum where I reason for. A big statement that, man, because silence or rage, it's a whole heap, and sometimes even though it's the opposite are really the same thing and go on in our one head, but it's just how them internalize. Because man I say, boy, I better I'm silent, because you see if I'm silent, me I go end up blow up. And them thing they one thing for know about them things they fire overstand that fire, because you see this masculinity thing is a big misconception surrounded by masculinity fire.
Toxic fire. I gotta add toxic in there. Toxic masculinity.
Toxic masculinity. No, but even general masculinity, like people just not understand what it is, much less even go say boy toxic. Because a man even know what masculinity is. Him just thinks alright. But born a male, oh yeah, because him born a male, that and no matter which action him want to carry out, that is masculinity. And then pan top right now, remember saying, no, if you masculine fire, why you need to prove say you're masculine? And it's like you prove it to your own self. So that simply means that from the get-go, it's like you're questioning your own masculinity, but you're questioning your own masculinity by proving say you're extra masculine. How does that make sense? That's a contradiction for you. Like if a man masculine for you, like me, if me step out in the street for you, it no matter the situation, me go calm and me go think through it, and most time probably more certain things me go even laugh through, or me go laugh straight through, no matter the reason, no matter the vibes, because I just saw the meditation stay. But a man that feel like say that's an masculinity because it not have the extreme aggression there behind it for you. You don't need to have extreme aggression for be masculine. That's a big misconception where the man them come with now, you know. So it's like the emotions them now start bubble over, and a man feel like if him never carry out the aggression there, it's like him feeling masculinity overall, and that really I think place.
And far right, that is so accurate. There's one more thing I need to add though. A lot of people with this proving of masculinity, they don't have anything to lose. And if you notice men that have things, when I mean things, I mean in regards to, like, you know, they have their family, they have responsibilities, they have certain things going on. They're not quick to cook. They're not going out fighting nobody or nothing because they have things. But now when you have that portion of society, it's two-sided. We could blame the system, and there's a certain level of accountability. But when they don't have anything, the only thing they do have to hold on to justify their masculinity is rage. Because you're not able to earn, you're not able to provide, you're not respected in society, you have your whole internal conflict with your abilities. Or because a lot of people, what I learned, man, especially if they don't go to school, like if a person didn't graduate high school, especially people have a real vibe when they don't go to college. They're always bringing it up, or they're criticizing someone who went to college, and like not understanding that I don't think that should like just justify your life. The fact that you didn't go to college, or the fact that this person went to college is more intellectual than you. That has nothing to do with anything. They just went to college, right? But they really have a internal issue with the fact that they didn't go to college or they didn't graduate high school. So I said all that to say is that when these people don't have anything else to find pride in, they find pride in violence. And we all know from before in our toxic culture, you can get praised for being violent and aggressive. So it's just a whole full circle thing in the sense that, you know, because I don't know, I've seen situations where grown men have come up, they got a call, grown men have come up there ready for anything, like anything. They don't know if they're gonna die fighting, they don't know if they're gonna go to jail. So that showed me fire ain't much going on. You know, first of all, our man gonna call you midday, you can just approach. So you should be doing something either.
Hey, nah, do it.
You get what I'm saying? So that's the first red flag. Yo, you don't know what you going into. A man, yo, you could do an action right now in life in prison or life lost. So that just shows there's nothing going on.
If it's a male and you can't think and you can't think things through, that simply means that yeah, it's not a man yet. And that not enough people need to overstand for it. If you can't think things through, it's not a man yet. That's why that are the top line, the bottom line, every line for you. If you can't think things through, it's not a man yet. Because a real man have to know how to think things through. So for the benefit of himself
and his family. All right, I was in a situation the other day. A man was very disrespectful. I even tell you this story. The man was very disrespectful. Go stop him. The man was disrespectful to me before I had to go blink my eyes and just get myself together. See what's going on here. And I pray, I say, yo, you know what? Yo, let me keep it moving because the vibe this man on right now, ain't nothing good gonna come out of this, yo. It's like I saw the whole thing play out in my head, yo. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I saw the whole thing play out in the head. Because the man was carrying on with me. I said, what the BC is this, yo? So I said, just cool, and I just had to get out of there because it's like, for me, the vibe this man was on, for me to continue to engage with this man is going to lead to conflict, yo. And remember, I'm not going to get hurt. You get what I'm saying? Or I'm going to do whatever I can not to get hurt. I'm not even going to lie to you about that. So why what good is going to come out that situation? You see that pride? Or the man was carrying on with me away and this and that. There is nothing good that's going to come out that situation if I engage with this man now. I don't know if this man got the strap on him. That's the next situation. Could have put one in me. Any engagement we get in, people are going to get in trouble and somebody going to get hurt. Yeah. So I just had to take that and keep it moving. Yeah. And now I'm here on the podcast with you because if I would engage with this man, I know for a fact, maybe I would have been here, but I'm pretty sure there'd been some legalities and some mix up. Yeah. And there's been some wasted money on some lawyers or some mix up or something going like that. Because you guys stay on your toes. There's a lot of crazy people out there, yeah?
Either way you lose.
You lose. And what am I trying to accomplish? Because this man was, carrying on with me for no reason. I don't know this man.
Sure, see it tough.
So it's just like, now I'm saying if someone's like physically attacking you, you know what I'm saying? You got to defend the thing and get home safely. But all this talking, I think like, man, you just got to be the bigger man and keep it moving and grooving out. If you can de-escalate the situation, remove yourself from the situation, go home to your family and chill. And I just think that's just the approach you need to have when you're out there. And also, you don't need to be in certain environments. That's why this going out thing don't make sense to me. Every time I look at the news, right? Yes, we know Philly's crazy, right? But you know where a lot of the shootings take place? At bars, far right? Midnight, 1, 2 in the morning. You just don't need to be there. If you know it's a certain type of crowd at a certain place, you just don't need to go. Because you're putting yourself in a certain situation that you just don't need to be in. Use your brain. If you have certain friends that you know when they go out, it's just straight violence they on, you better meet them somewhere during the day to eat and keep it moving, but you probably shouldn't be going out at night with them. Or, the next one thing, basic safety. If you have certain associates that's into the thing, probably shouldn't be going to the house, yeah. It's just people not using their brain. They don't know how to move. I think it's just certain. That's why I was talking to my brother, man. He was talking about the importance of rites of passage. And we need to bring that back. And maybe we need to figure out something in regards to not only certain behaviors, but how to navigate. A lot of the young brothers don't know how to navigate life. Because a lot of the trouble they get into is it's the fact that they literally don't know how to navigate. And they don't have no money for no lawyer. And district attorney to end the yeah. When you get a district attorney, that's guaranteed time, man. Guaranteed. It's just how much time you're going to get. You got to pick your spots. You got to pick your friends. And avoid certain situations where a lot of times you're putting yourself in certain situations that could have been avoided by just being a different spot. It's okay to stay in your house. It's okay to stay in your house with your lady. It's okay to stay in the house with your kid. Go take your kids somewhere or something and just chill. You're not going to get in trouble, I guarantee you. You're around all these other elements that's bringing pure confusion in your life. Just as better decisions. We need to make better decisions as men, as young men.
I know so them decision there and them and if whenever as man whenever you control your emotion, whenever your decision them precise, that lead to your family improving 100%. So then them thing that thing we need to start put even before ourselves and start make the bigger picture. You see, if we start make the bigger picture, our emotions then will become more stable. I will think things through. I will not just set things, anything will come to our mind. We actually meditate it first and have a better life overall for you. So we really hope so you have some man who really listen to meditation and listen to the reasoning, yeah, and really reach them if them find themselves being in a spot like that, you know?
Nah, big time, and as far as I said, anyone listening, we encourage you to work on first being very aware, cognitive, as they would say, of what you are saying to people, specifically your loved ones, and also moderating your emotions, all aspects across the board. You gotta be balanced and think before you act. Take a deep breath. Think before you act, because these little short, all right, it's not no long actions that be destroying people's life. All right, this is all a 3-second action, a 5-second action, a 10-second action to really your entire life. Or pure foolishness. And the thing that's been bothering you the whole time is the reason for it. That's why you got to deal with that thing. You keep suppressing it and locking it away. You need to deal with the pain and hurt that you have, because it's going to come up in a different way and be a big problem. For yourself, for your family, for your relationships, for your mental health, for your pockets, and for all aspects of your life. It's like denial, like people live in constant denial. We always say that the God say you're running. Right? Go like we see in every episode, the God say you're running and you're running and you're running away, but you can't run away from yourself. We give thanks for everyone listening. If you get free time, make sure you check out Far Right EP, Disrupting the Status Quo. Brand new albums coming soon. If you get free time, make sure you binge on INeverKnewTV.com. Put it on, scroll through, click the videos, go up on the YouTube, and hold the vibe.